Welcome back to the Nikki Clark Show, live here at the Paintbox Bistro, 555 Dundas Street East. And how's everybody doing? You're good? Excellent, excellent. All right, I feel a summer vibe in the air. And don't you love this beautiful backdrop? Let me take a little sniff of that flower. Yeah, it's real. And it's a beautiful contribution by the amazing event decor, Emmanuel Decor Inc., Elizabeth Lakatosh and her family. Make some noise for her and her family. All right, so the show is about transforming lives one story at a time, conversations that matter. And we're going to start our first interview with a woman who bears the same name as my own mother. And she's also known as Gamma Trica, short for Grandma Trica. Please welcome author Pat Wright to the show. Make some noise for you. How are you doing today, Pat?
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You made a trip down from Hamilton, right?
Absolutely.
Well, how was that?
It was a great trip.
It was
we
a good
got here
trip?
faster than we thought we would. Because you know what the traffic is like sometimes coming in along the Golden Horseshoe.
You know, the traffic is like a gamble. You never know what you're going to expect when you leave the house. You know, so you can plan and then things happen. But I'm very glad that you're here. So tell me a little bit about your background leading up to what you're doing today. And I'm going to take a look at this book that you have here.
How much time do you have?
We got 10 minutes.
Oh, gee, that's too short for my background. Let me give you the Coles Notes version of my background. I'm trained as a chemist.
Oh.
So I worked in industrial chemistry.
Okay.
I also worked in research. I graduated from the University of the West Indies, got a postgraduate scholarship, lived in Denmark for a year.
Okay, so Jamaica is your origin.
I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
I'm Jamaican, true blue.
Jamaicans in the house? Make some noise. All right, representing.
If I would say me come from Yard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah. Jamaica nice.
Yes, sweet as sugar. So I ended up in Denmark, then I came to Canada, did some research in cancer research. In those days, in the 60s, when we were just beginning cell chemistry and cell biochemistry research, and I worked at Princess Margaret Hospital on the 5th floor. So I was working in research. Then I went into high school teaching. I ended up as the first black representative for the Secondary School Teachers Federation on the provincial office and represented secondary teachers across Ontario, across Canada, and internationally. And I ended up as the Vice President, Visible Minority Vice President for the Ontario Federation of Labor. So I'll say that I had an extensive international experience.
Yes, for sure.
And broad-based experience. And that led me to a place where I started working on anti-racism work, diversity training. I have trained the police in Hamilton, emergency services in Hamilton, school boards in Hamilton. I worked with, right now I'm still working, I have a consulting business in which I do, it's called Metamorphosis Consulting. And what is metamorphosis? It's change. It's about making change, making things better for people, building lives both in schools for our students and within the community. So I am the educational lead for the Neighborhood Leadership Institute, an institute which tries to build communities from the grassroots up. And I'm also an instructor for McMaster University Center for Continuing Education, and I instruct in leadership and community development. But most of all, what I want to do and continue to do is write. And that's why we have the book, Letters to Inspire.
Yes.
And so I do training in the community. Anyone wants me to give a workshop? Hey, just give me a call. I'll be there. We work on training for solutions. It's, you know, rather than doing problem solving, I don't solve problems. I find solutions.
You find solutions, yeah.
You see, because when we think about problem solving, we think about the problem, and we focus on the problem. But if you think about solution finding,
focus on the solution.
Absolutely. So that's what I do. And when I work with young people, I do leadership for young people across different diverse cultures, across different community groups. And so that's what I do.
Awesome. Okay, make some noise for that. Congratulations. That's, yeah, it's an extensive background, and it's provided a lot of different skills for you, and you've honed all your experience in this book, Letters to Inspire, Letters and Poems that Inspire Success. So How long did it take you to put together?
This book was in the making for about 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours, 2 years.
2
What
years.
I'm saying, 2 hours.
It felt like 2 hours.
It feels like 2 hours. It was 2 years in the making. And it was 2 years in the making because I started off by writing for an online magazine that came out of Hamilton called Illuminescence Magazine, a magazine for women. And part of what I wanted to do is to help my universal daughters find their greatness within. We're all great. And the seeds of greatness are planted deep within us. And I say seeds because we can be great in so many different ways. Great mothers, great sisters, we can be great community people, great teachers, great role models, you name it. We can be great in many different ways. We all can. And what we need to do is to go find those seeds, nurture them, lift them up, give them the environment within which they can grow and bloom and flourish. And that's what this book is about. And that's what I try to do in my life with all the people. And it's not just about daughters. Sons need this too. So I'm coming out with some more.
Okay. So you've got inspiration for the men.
Inspiration for daughters, inspiration for sons, inspiration for children. How often do our children seem as if they're lost and they don't know what to do?
That's true.
So that's part of what I want to do.
Okay. Can you share some of your inspiration from the book?
Okay. I'll share one. The first one I want to share is a poem. This has letters and poems. And this one I wrote 10 years ago. I dreamt a dream. And it's dedicated to my granddaughter, Monica. And I wrote this poem before she was born. And she's right here with us today. Hi, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
It says, I dreamt a dream of love, with light that filtered from above, to places here and places there, to places that I had to share. I saw this child, a child so rare, a child with whom none could compare, with tight dark curls upon her crown, and soft smooth skin, her skin so brown. A little babe, a sweet bronze pearl, a peaceful, precious little girl, who lay upon her mother's arm and softly slept there, free from harm. We walked and walked, that child and I. We talked and talked. She did not cry. We wandered through our history, retracing our great ancestry. I told her tales of queens and kings. I told her tales of many things. She knew she was a shining light, with strength to reach to stellar height. Her roots were deep in tropic lands, with sun-swept beach and sparkling sands, with mountains high and waters blue and birds and blooms of every hue. She turned her head and smiled at me, with dark wise eyes that held the key to greatness that lay deep within. That little girl with dark brown skin. I dreamt a dream of love, with light that bathed us from above, in places here and places there, in places where we had no fear. Thank you.
Beautiful. Fantastic. And where can people get a copy of the book?
I have a website called Trica Publication. Well, the website is gammatrica.com, because when I started to write my book, I found out that I probably had to publish it myself, so I did. And I have a website called gammatrica.com, so you can go on my website. There are order forms that are available there. I'm also coming out with a new book in another few months, and I'm working with an amazing sound technician from Terra Nova Sounds who's helping me to pull out my audiobook. So I'm coming out with an audiobook with some of these poems, some of these stories, and I'm coming out with a new book. In this book, the first poem in this book is called The Heart of a Woman. The next book that is coming out will also be some of these kinds of writings and poems, but it will also be The Strength of a Man. Dear daughters, Heart of a Woman. Dear sons, The Strength of a Man. Because oftentimes we have young men who are nervous about letting their soft sides show.
Is that true? Casper's like, no, not me. I'm a sensitive guy.
Oh, they're sensitive guys, but sometimes they're really afraid to let that sensitivity show through. It's only those who are very close to them that can see and understand that sensitivity. So it's called the strength of a man. And how does a man show his strength? By being kind and sweet and showing that sensitive
And
side.
sometimes a little vulnerable, right? Yeah.
So that's what the next book is going to be about. And also, in Gamma Trica Publications, what we want to do is to help people find their voice and tell their story. So I'm working with schools to develop a program through which children can tell their story. Because oftentimes we feel afraid of doing that. We might find ourselves distressed. And there's nothing more cathartic than being able to write your story and tell your story and find your voice. Because in so doing, you will discover those seeds that are of greatness that lie deep within.
Fantastic. All right, words to live by. Thank you so much. Gamma Trica, Pat
Absolutely.
Wright, thank you so much. Letters to Inspire, we appreciate you. Get your copy today. We'll be right back.